Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Falmunction Plays Dark Souls Remastered. Oh, this time it sounded okay. There's usually like an audio glitch right here where it's like the sound doesn't play all the way or something. Really rubs me the wrong way. As does this version of the game, unfortunately. It has some problems, I can tell you that right now. They fixed some bugs, they upscaled the resolution, I think they messed with the effects, like particles and stuff, but they also introduced some bugs. There's problems with the multiplayer, and it doesn't run as well as it should, so. Um, that's a caveat to probably one of my favorite games of all time, if not the favorite game uh, that I can possibly think of that I ever played. I just felt like playing it, and so we are. And we're gonna make a new character here. Settings should be fine. That is also fine. There's a UI scaling option now, which I'm very much a fan of. We're gonna play this game, and while I go around here making my character, I'm gonna think about what to do. You guys are gonna see you guys are gonna see a sped up version of this, hopefully. But I don't know. I don't know what kind of character I should make. It's tricky, because I do want to play something that I haven't ever played before. Some kind of run that would be a new experience. Okay, I guess that's good enough. Like, you guys don't know that this is a similarity, but it's enough if I do. Okay, let's accept this lovely lady, except for her name, which is gonna be Greer. There we go. I will be deprived because, you know, it's kind of my jam. But first...
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone scales. The witches weaved great firestorms. dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign.
Most badass freaking cutscene ever. Whew.
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world.
And we are one of them.
This is your fate.
If not for a very fortunate circumstance. He knows. He doesn't have to say anything. No gestures, nothing. We end this. So, yeah, I won't pretend that you guys never heard of this game, never played it. But here and there, I will try to tell you guys what I think of the lore and what my interpretation is. Knowing all the other Dark Souls games, because I have played them all. You can look them up on my channel, first playthroughs, Dark Souls 2 and 3. But never this one. So I'm taking this as my opportunity to, well, first, bust out of jail. But then, you know. Basically, that cutscene, I don't think is supposed to make sense to you at the beginning. Except, if you've played it before, everything will make sense. Hello. And the first little thing that, like, the first maybe third of the game is a very subtle, very interesting approach to tutorials. Like this. Well, if you're very, if your attention to detail is better than most, you will recognize these footsteps and this guy, and you will look to the right and spot him. I did not do that the first time around. I was just like, ugh. I fiddled around hours in this character creator. Why do I look like beef jerky? But that's just how it is. So yeah, we are just another undead. Sort of, it's implied that this is the consequence, let's say, of this person, Gwyn, this deity, if you will, who overthrew the old government, if you want to put it like that, and didn't have a plan for the future, right? So as the fire fades, people of the dark sign were created or born, and they had no real idea of what to do with them, so they just put them away in asylums to be left there and forgotten. Because you can't kill them! They keep coming back. And even here you can still hear the footsteps, and then later on you can see what's up there. So you can put 2 and 2 together right there and see that there's multiple of these jailer demons. The other thing is to notice that you're not supposed to fight this guy. Because you're gonna get trashed, probably. There's a, you know, he can be beaten, but it's sort of a supposed to lose fight. And it's gonna teach you that there's more to the game and to the approach to the challenge than to just fight straight on. So we're just gonna do the best job we can with the situation at hand. And bash our way through this. But only after we've actually gotten the tools of the trade, so to speak. So yeah, this is just my retrospective, basically. I'm trying to wrap my head around Dark Souls and, you know, put a check mark after it. It's like, huh, yeah, I get this now. At least to the extent that I can get it. So you can't jump up here. And I'm a little bit peeved that the game doesn't allow for remapping a jump button. It's still just tapping the run button while running. Again, you can sort of make out what that thing is up top. Let's open up the shortcut, just in case. Beat up this trickster up here. Also shows you that these guys are not just mindless zombies. Some of them have retained some of their humanity. Oh! What a pity. I guess if he came from up there, the asylum demon got him pretty hard.
Oh,
what's up?
You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you?
I mean, it's a dying wish, so...
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know.
It's quite a mouthful.
And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, and this.
Ta-da!
Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
But you're undead. Won't you just live again somehow?
Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Yeah. So, he said something about being hollow. Actually, let me see if we have any items in our inventory to tell us something about that. The dark sign signifies an accursed undead. Those banded with it are reborn after death, but will one day lose their mind and go hollow. Death triggers the dark sign, which returns the spirit to the last bonfire. Rest of that, but at the cost of all humanity and souls. For a long time I didn't understand what this did, but it's basically just a get out of jail free card, but you have to abandon all progress. That's a multiplayer item, sign of farewell, blah blah blah, Estus flask. You can heal. Oh! Poor Oscar. We just got his souls after he died. Well, he's a problem for another day. But, even if his dialogue was a little bit weird, it did tell us that this stuff has been going on for a while. Like, his family had a family motto that in itself pretty much told you, well, undeath, I guess, has been a thing for a long time, to the point where people's families revolve around it or something. They have a... Ooh, wow. That's fortunate. Can I wield it? Well, that was an accident, unfortunately. I can! Yeah! That was awesome. That's just a random drop, and I got lucky. Yeah, so this undead business has been a thing for a while, and that's just the state of the world now. And that there is a prophecy, obviously, as well. So, let's deal with this lovely guy, now that we're a lot better armed, actually, than we should. And I don't want to be the guy to... Wow. To die against, against fat-ass McGee. There's one thing that I think the game doesn't teach you very well, and I did talk about this in my 3 easy tips to help you get started in Dark Souls video, that I should have linked in the description. Sometimes locking onto an enemy is a bad idea, as you can see here. Because he'll fly up, and then when you're locked on, your vision is centered on him, and that makes your camera do weird things. And people say this game is bad camera, and, you know, sometimes I can see that. But the thing is, usually when they say that, it's, they just didn't take good care of when to lock on, when not to lock on, right? That's pretty much it. Sometimes though, like, I can understand. Sometimes the camera is just not your friend. I see that for sure. Okay, take me away to the second best cutscene in the game.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen.
Awesome!
To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage.
Ooh.
To the land of the ancient lords.
Maybe we're the special?
Lordran.
Right. So, one thing though that I have to say, as you see me fight in those first couple hours or so, it is ridiculously hot where I am right now. Goosebumps every time. So I'm using not my headphones that I like to use with 7.1 digital whatever the hell. but just my regular earbuds, and I won't be able to see hear where enemies come from. The other thing though is that I shouldn't have this all memorized. Therefore, you know, it's all good. At least that's the idea. All right. Yeah, we are on the pilgrimage. We are hero number 1. What's with this guy?
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But
What?
there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town.
Oh,
Ring
no.
them both, and something happened. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
Sarcastic ass motherfucker. So yeah, it's all a lie, right? There is no legend, or at least there is not much truth to it. There's not much mysticism around it. Like, people probably just told these tales to cheer each other up or something.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But
I beg your
who knows?
pardon?
Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
It's not a way to treat a lady.
What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest
What do you
way,
mean?
although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
Yeah, by that point, you're starting to figure out what this game could be.
What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it.
Any other sort of action RPG like this? It would probably be like, well, here's all the things you can do. These are the shopkeepers. This is where you can go and get healed, blah, blah. I mean, obviously you do have the bonfire, but it's very lonely, alright. But we can become human here as well. And level up, obviously. But it's like, it's not the conventional RPG stylings you know. So we pop a humanity. That makes our counter go up in the upper left, and then we can reverse hollowing like this. It's not very well explained, unfortunately. But at the same time, you can beat the game without becoming human ever. So there is that. All those fleshy bits! Yay! Never felt so alive. Okay, let's just explore our surroundings until the end of the episode, and I can talk a little bit more about this place. This gorgeous, amazing looking sanctuary. Hey! When you look around, the Crow shuttle service is still here. But yeah, it kind of makes you think that... Oh, there's an item as well. It kind of makes you think that... if we're not the only ones, like, what was that demon for? And if we killed the demon, has that demon been killed, like, several times? Is there a way of resetting the world? I mean, with bonfires, sure, that's what we do all the time, but does that apply to other people too? Like, some things you will probably still have to chalk up to, you know, it's a game. And some of the things, yeah, there's no way around that, I believe. Although, you know, there is... The game wants you to figure this kind of stuff out and to make up your own mind. Especially when you talk to this lovely gentleman.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thoroland. Have you business with us? If not,
Us?
I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Well, that's kind of cold. What's going on, Petrus? Who wronged you? What made you so distrustful of strangers?
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this, as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
Bribery! If you had just said, well, it's not like I don't like you, I just want to be left alone, I would have been like, okay, I'm not gonna judge you anymore. But that he wants to bribe me?
Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
Yeah, he's bribing me to go away, but then he's like, well, maybe I can make some money off this fool.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
Alright. There's no real reason not to join this, so I'm gonna.
Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Cool. Basically, I'm just gonna learn this amazing gesture. And then I think I'll be fine. Seeking guidance is cool, but not really needed. I don't need the talisman. You'll see why in a second. Anything else you want to tell me?
My companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm.
I always thought, though, that the non-moving lips is kind of like a detriment.
An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith.
No, we're supposed to bribe him. I think it's okay. I can deal on my own just well enough.
I'm afraid that may be difficult, for our missions are sacred.
Well, apparently not sacred enough for you to not just make a buck for it and spill the beans because of it.
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
And these are all, like, thoughts you probably wouldn't have had. I mean, a first-time player might not have had them. And I, of course, know what's going on with Petrus. But it does different lighting here. It's kind of cool. However, the game sort of nudges you in that direction because, you know, for example, the two characters that you've interacted with, they both told you like a different story. Maybe not maliciously, but so because Oscar, who saved your life, and you were like, you might actually be thinking, yeah, I'm sort of in his debt now. You trusted. He didn't have the right story, right? He said there was one bell, and now this other dude said there were two bells of awakening. And so you're already in that mindset where you're like, maybe I'm just supposed to make up my own mind, and like all these guys might be unreliable narrators, especially when you pick up this thing. Oh boy. Invade another world. Defeat the master of the world you have invaded to acquire humanity. Cracked red orb allows players to temporarily imitate this ability normally limited to the dark wraiths of Kath. So, and the game does that all the time. You have the stash here with a morning star and a talisman, 4 cracked red-eye orbs of invaders that steal humanity from others. You're supposed to connect that with Petrus. He probably comes here quite a bit, because it is a hotspot of lots of different things. And he probably just stashed these here in case he needs them. And it casts a pretty obscure light on the fella, I would say. This is the coin he gave us, made of copper. Face shows Old Man McLoif, god of medicine and drink. Even coins of great value in the world of men have little value in Lordran, where the accepted currency is souls. Those who dream of returning to the world, to the outside world, are fond of carrying these around. And then here we have Lloyd's Talisman. Talisman utilized by all Father Lloyd's cleric knights to hunt down the undead. Blocks Estus recovery within a limited area. In the outside world, the undead are accursed creatures, and Lloyd's cleric knights are widely praised for their undead hunts. This blessed talisman blocks undead recovery, allowing the knights to fight with impunity. So he might be one of those undead hunting knights as well. And hearing this crackling, I will get myself the hell out of here, because I'm not prepared to fight what's in the graveyard. That's rule number 1. So I'm just gonna save my game before it really even started. Admire the lovely skybox and the great god rays shining down upon me as I bid you farewell. Just one more thing before we move on to the next episode. And I'm not going to repeat that throughout. I'm just going to say it once. I really need my subscriber count to come up. You guys know, YouTube has restricted monetization options for channels with less than 2,000 subscribers. I was one of them. I would like to make my money on my videos again. I don't really see the need for that action by YouTube, but you know, it is what it is. So if you like this, please subscribe and click the bell, I guess, to be notified of my videos, so I can justify spending more time on them. But in any case, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.